everyone, welcome back to Gracie May's Tarot. So please listen to the intro on this one. I promise it won't be too long, but we're going to be doing what would it be like if you were to have a movie night, go out on a movie date with your future spouse. Okay, so you don't have to have met your future spouse to watch this reading. We're going to be channeling your future spouse's higher self. And yeah, so this is just a fun little way for us to get more details, more information about what your dynamic will be like with your future spouse, some details about their personality. It's pretty open-ended. I really have a lot of fun doing these readings, and so if you've watched like your first date with your future spouse or coffee date with your future spouse, this reading is very similar to that vibe. I will also link those in the description box if you haven't seen them yet. Also, comment down below if you like this style of reading. It's really just meant to be fun. So for pile 1 here, we have the little mint chocolate lint candy. And then for pile 2, we have the love matchstick. And then for pile 3, we have the little Beetlejuice magnet. So take a moment, pause the video if you need to, meditate on the groups. The timestamps, I almost said tamp. The timestamps are listed below in the description box, just like always. And yeah, let's get into your reading. Alright, for all my pile 1s who chose the mint chocolate, welcome to your reading. Also, if my voice sounds a little bit hoarse, I just woke up. I was in the mood to film, so still like getting my voice, drinking my coffee, all that. Okay, so on the back of this card, we have 3 movies that I selected, that I channeled from your future spouse's higher self. Now, as we get into the tarot, we'll figure out probably some more movies or some more genres as we get into like your future spouse's personality. But these are the 3 movie selections that we have off the cuff. So we have 13 going on 30. So this is a romantic comedy. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It has a really fun 80s soundtrack. It's very cute. And then we have Finding Nemo and 500 Days of Summer. So a good mix there, because I wouldn't consider this like a typical romantic comedy. So I could kind of see too with the 500 Days of Summer, maybe you and your future spouse sort of connecting and being like, this is a good like conversation starter for us to open up and talk about like our past relationships, and like maybe they were a Tom in their past and maybe you were a Summer, or maybe it's flipped, maybe you were a Tom and they were a Summer. If you've seen that movie like before, it's like Tom is kind of like this hopeless romantic who really loves love and really idealizes love and has a very like almost like anxious attachment style. And then Summer is very like carefree. I don't know if I want to get married. We're still young. Let's just have fun. Kind of sometimes like an avoidant attachment style, because she does send some mixed signals to Tom. But they both have like their faults, you know, and you can watch that movie at different times in your life and identify with the, you know, the different characters. Like there's this whole debate about like who's right and who's wrong. Really like there's value to both sides for sure. But yeah, it could be like a good like conversation starter to discuss like past heartbreak, what you've learned in love before you met each other, you know, ways that you've evolved. Also has a really great soundtrack. It's one of my favorite movie soundtracks, I think, of all time. I love that movie. And the way that it's filmed too is very artistic. Like there's one scene where it's like expectations versus reality, and it's like split screen. And then they have one of my favorite songs playing. It's by Regina Spektor called Hero. It has a line in there of, I'm the hero of this story, I don't need to be saved. And it kind of gives me the vibe too for your relationship that you two are both really independent people and you stand on your own. This is like king and queen, like emperor, empress energy here. And we're just talking about divine masculine and divine feminine. We're not talking about gender when we discuss that. Sorry, I always have to give that disclaimer. But yeah, it makes me think that you two are strong on your own and you're stronger together, but you can equally stand on your own, which makes me think that this is a relationship that comes into union when you're both really evolved, you know, like you've learned your lessons, and so there's a very stable foundation. Like this is a marriage that would last, okay? Because not all marriages do. So that's a really good sign. But I also feel like there's a fun lightheartedness here too, and I feel like you guys help each other also connect with your inner child. Like I could see you laughing your head off with 13 going on 30, and I could see you like cuddling and reminiscing maybe about childhood as you watch Finding Nemo. You know, it's going to depend on how old you are, but yeah, I think that's very cute. All right, so pile 1, future spouse's higher self, pile 1, spirit guides. A big thank you for showing up today, as well as a thank you to my guides. What would a movie night be like with pile 1 and their future spouse? What is their future spouse's personality like? What is their dynamic? What will a movie night look like between pile 1 and their future spouse, please, Spirit? Thank you, of course, pile 1's future spouse's higher self. These readings have been so fun to film. I have another one planned. I don't know which will be uploaded first, but I want to do like a cozy night in with your future spouse, and I have like a whole thing planned for it, but I think that one's going to be really adorable. Okay, so pile 1, movie night with your future spouse. Pile 1, movie night with your future spouse. I wish I had some movie tarot cards. There's a really cool oracle deck on Etsy I've had my eye on, but it's gonna take some time for me to it's like they have like such a long wish list. When I did the coffee date, I was so bummed that I didn't have this is the Golden Girls tarot, but they have a friends version, and I was like, man, that would have been so cute for the coffee date video, but I mean, budget. Oh my gosh, my cat sees her like arch nemesis outside, so she may start making noises. We'll see. Okay, pile 1, movie night with your future spouse. 10 of Pentacles. Let's move this over so we have some more space. Give me a second. I want to see. Okay. Okay, and then bottom of the deck here we have the Queen of Cups. I always like it in a love reading when I have 2 court cards come out, because then it's super easy for you guys to see like who is your future spouse and who are you in the equation. So we have Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine coming through. We have the King of Swords. So this is Gemini, Aquarius, and Lord, it is early in the morning. Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. Wow, Libra is literally right here in front of my face. And then Queen of Cups, we have Divine Feminine energy. And then you're both a king and a queen. So like I said, you're evolved. Like you are in your boss leader, evolved soul energy. Like you guys are on it. But yeah, so we have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces with Queen of Cups here. Now, this doesn't have to be your sun sign. This is a general reading. So even if you're not a water sun or an air sun, this could be your Venus or your Mars. I mean, this is a love reading, right? This could be your moon sign, your emotions. This could be the side of you that they bring out. So like I'll use myself as an example. So I'm a Leo sun and a Gemini moon, but in love, my Venus in Cancer comes out really strongly, and I don't really have a lot of water in my chart. So it brings out really like a whole different side to me. And so you may be like that in love as well. So just take what resonates. But I feel like the Divine Feminine, like this relationship really brings out your softer, compassionate, your maternal, your nurturing, even your more spiritual side, because love can sometimes make us believe in miracles, right? Like it can make us have a sense of faith that everything's going to be okay, everything's going to be all right because I have this person by my side. So it can connect you really to the spiritual world in that manner. Especially too, if you meet through like divine timing or serendipity, it can definitely make you feel like you believe in miracles. It can bring out a more romantic side, and I feel like that's why we have 2 romance movies here. Even if one of them is a breakup movie, it still ends very positively. So yes. And I feel like too with 500 Days of Summer, I don't know why this movie is sticking out to me in particular, but there's also something here about the seasons, because the breakup with Summer, he ends up meeting Autumn at the end of the movie. And so there's something here about change. So you may meet this person, your future spouse, like at the end of winter going into spring, or in the fall going into winter. Like there's something about you meet them on a cusp of a new season, like it's a fresh start. And your love grows with the seasons, you know? So maybe you meet them in spring and then you get engaged the following spring. Like it always represents new growth, sort of. That message just came through. Yes, and then with the King of Swords here, it's like, because this person is so like compassionate and nurturing, it's sort of, I'm kind of getting the idea here that this King of Swords, like typically like very rational, very logical, very balanced, fair-minded, all of that good stuff, really great at communication. But it's sort of like, I don't know why this message came through, but it's like, I would put down my sword for you. Like I would take down this wall, I would take this down and really connect with my emotions. I would be willing to disconnect from my logical side and my sense of like rationality and meet you at this cups level. I would be willing to do that for you because I trust you. And there's really this sense here of balance, of fairness. There's a lot here about like, we connect a lot through communication. We speak really well together, but then we balance that out with the emotional side. There's a balance here between emotion and logic that I think is really beautiful. And I feel like too, in terms of like a movie date, so like if you had a night in, this would be like, okay, you go pop the popcorn and I'll get the movie ready, or like you go get the blankets for like cuddling, and then you go get the snacks from the store because we don't have like this candy that I want. That kind of thing, like we're both gonna get it set up together. Whereas like if you go out for a movie night, this would be like, okay, we're gonna find a compromise. Like maybe you really like action movies, but I really like romantic movies, so we would compromise. Or with the 10 of Pentacles, we got money, so we're gonna watch both. That sort of thing is coming through. Like there's a lot here about like, we're very different, but we're so willing to compromise and meet in the middle that it works. It works really well, and our differences help us grow and help us expand. So like I would never typically watch a superhero movie, but you convince me to just give it a try and then I end up loving it. That sort of vibe is also coming through, which I think is very cute, because it's again like I'm getting you out of your comfort zone and you're getting me out of mine. Yes. And I feel like that way too, you're never bored because you're always showing each other different things. And then it also brings out a different side of you. So then, because there's this kind of feeling like this isn't like your normal mode almost. Like it's like bringing out a different side of you, and it's bringing out a different side of them. Like this isn't their 100%, this is my all the time energy. I don't know why that's coming through, but it is. If that message doesn't resonate and you're like, oh no, I'm always in my Queen of Cups energy, then leave it. Or it could just be your future spouse's energy of like, you're really bringing out a different side to them that they're not quite as familiar with. And then let's see here. With the 10 of Swords, this is also echoing to me this idea that there's going to be some sort of movie that you watch, or like if you don't actually, I feel like eventually at some point in your relationship you would have a movie night. Like I feel like that's a pretty common thing, whether it's like a night in or a night out. I feel like eventually you would have a movie night together, unless you just really, really don't like movies. But I feel like there would be something that you watched, some sort of, like it's a movie, TV show, something, where it would spark a conversation about your past romantic history. And I feel like maybe you guys, like your experiences would mirror each other. And so, like, maybe they were someone who was like really detached in past relationships, and maybe you were overly clingy, and so it's like you both had to grow on your own before you could come together. And now it's like, I would never hurt you in that way, or I would never take away your freedom in that way. You know, it's like you both had to grow up before this union could come to fruition. And so I feel like you would learn a lot from each other and really feel that support of like, I see you and and you see them kind of thing. Because Dorothy here, like all these swords are stabbing her ex-husband who like cheated on her after like, I don't know, like 20, I forget how many years they were married. It was a really long time, and they had 2 kids together, and he cheated on her and he left her for I think like an airline attendant. Is it called airline attendant? I don't know. Anyway, a stewardess, I think back then, because this show was in the 80s. I think they called it a stewardess back then. I don't know. He left her, and then he keeps coming back and bothering her all the time. So I feel like there's kind of that energy of like, you kind of reminisce and laugh and have a sense of like emotional vulnerability and support by talking about your exes and like your past relationships, in a way that's like entertaining and supportive, and kind of like, wow, I had to do all that to find you, and sort of this like kind of feeling of gratitude of like, I'm so glad I finally found you kind of thing. So I feel like you would watch a movie and it would spark all of this conversation, because there's a lot here about strong communication, and it would make your bond so much stronger. And it's so simple, like we watched a movie and then we learned so much about each other just from watching this movie, and you weren't expecting it to spark this deep conversation, but it did. But I feel like there's still this feeling of lightheartedness, especially since we had a kids movie here. There's this sense of like, even when we're talking about really deep topics, one of us will make a joke, and then we'll just like, we could be crying and then laughing, crying and then laughing. Like, it's just this beautiful balance. There's so much here about balance that I feel like is the overarching theme of this relationship. And then with the 10 of Pentacles, remember how I said you would both be strong individuals separately? So I feel like there's also this message of you both are going to be at a good place in your career or getting there. You know, like one of you may be a bit more established when you come together, but I feel like you both are very goal-oriented people. So whatever your goals are, I feel like this person is going to come in. And you know how sometimes in love, you get with someone or you're in that honeymoon phase and you sort of neglect other areas of your life, or you get distracted? I don't feel like that would happen in this relationship. I feel like you both are so respecting of the other person's autonomy and independence that instead of it being a distraction, it's very supportive. It's like, now that I have you by my side, I can do even more. And you're able to time manage, and you still have this balance with the other areas of your life that are important to you. And it doesn't feel like this person is taking up too much of your energy. Like, yeah, there are adjustments that will need to be made. You will have to make space for this person in your life, but they're not going to overwhelm you. You're not going to lose your head. You're not going to, because again, this is a very mature connection. So it's like, we're going to build a solid life together. I'm not going to take over your current life. We're just going to grow. Yes. And I feel like too, there would probably be a lot of like cuddling here, a lot of like hand holding, all that good stuff. What card do I want to do next? Let's actually do the Witchlings. I'm just kind of like freewheeling this today, like not exactly a clear path in mind. And that's what I like about these kind of readings, is that I could do your reading and then pile 2 could be like wildly different. So I just kind of like to see where it goes. So pile 1, movie night with their future spouse. Movie night with their future spouse. Pile 1, please, Spirit. I love filming these readings in the morning because it's so quiet and peaceful, and I can hear like the birds chirping outside, and I have like 3 windows around me, so it's just really nice. Okay, so we have creativity, meditation, and let's get one more, please, Spirit. Imagination. Okay, and then bottom of the deck here we have serenity. I feel like with meditation and serenity, this person is really, really going to be very calming to you. I feel like you would probably be able to sit and watch like 4 movies back to back, even if you're typically someone who's really restless. It's sort of like this person just really calms you down and you feel so secure and so grounded by them. Like the word grounded is coming out a lot. I think that they would really slow you down, especially if you're always busy and always like go, go, go. They would really calm you down. And if that's not you, then flip it. You do that for your future spouse. And I think especially too, if you're someone who is really in your head a lot, they would, again, bring you back down to reality. It's kind of like this grounding. Like if you're a daydreamer and you're in your head, and maybe sometimes you even have trouble like sitting and watching a movie because you start thinking about other things and you get distracted, or you're on your phone, or you're on your laptop, or you just like, you can't be in that present moment. They would really bring you into the present moment. They would get you out of your head and you would feel really connected to the moment. And that would be very nurturing for you, very healing for you, because I'm a daydreamer myself, but it can get to a point to where you're so in your head that you're missing what is right in front of you, and they would really help you connect to the present. And then here with imagination and creativity, I feel like these are also going hand in hand with one another. This kind of makes me think that you would also probably discover a lot of like independent films and like maybe some cult classics that you never watched before, just movies that you never heard of. I feel like, again, because you guys are so different, you really expose each other to like stuff that you would never watch on your own. And that kind of extends also to your life together, right? So they would want to go do activities or go places that you have never heard of. Like maybe you're the type of person, and I'm, again, very much like this, so no judgment, but maybe you're the type of person where you always go to the same couple of restaurants and you always order the same thing, and you know, you like your routine and you're very attached to your routine. Maybe you're a homebody, and they really get you out of that. And they're like, let's go here, let's go do this, let's go do this. And you may be a little bit resistant to it at first, but I'm getting kind of the feeling that for a lot of you, you're so into this person that you would follow them anywhere, and they would do the same for you. So I feel like you guys really kind of open up a whole new world to the other person, for sure. And I feel like this helps you out in other areas of your life, because especially if you're an artistic person, that could definitely be a thing with the Queen of Cups, and also just with you guys being maybe daydreamers, or maybe, again, that's them. Sometimes the energy gets a little bit muddled because I'm channeling really kind of both of you guys. But if you're a really creative, artistic person, having exposure to new things different cultures, different places, different foods, different music, different movies, different pop culture related things, that even just going to like an art museum with them, stuff like that, really expands your creativity and your imagination. It like stokes that fire, and you find inspiration in new places because you have this exposure to new experiences and your world widens. And so that's why I think a lot of people too get really creative when they travel, because again, it's that exposure to new experiences, new cultures, new beliefs, new people. So I feel like there's an element here of that, of your creativity expanding, your imagination expanding. I also think for some of you who like were doubtful that you would ever meet your partner, you were starting to wonder if it would ever happen, it sort of increases your imagination, because you're like, man, I was so doubtful that this would ever happen for me. What other limiting beliefs have I been placing on myself? You know, like maybe I should go after my dream career, because if this could happen, maybe there's even more out there for me. Maybe I've been really limiting myself in some way. Okay, I think that's all that I'm getting for that so far. Pile 1, movie night with their future spouse. What will their marriage be like? What would a movie night be like with their future spouse? Movie night with the future spouse. I also think of creativity here. Maybe one of you really likes to cook, and you would make like really nice movie snacks for the other person. I am getting the feeling that maybe, of course, like you do go out to the movies, but I'm thinking for a lot of you, you have a lot of movie nights in, like, because the home with 10 of Pentacles, like I feel like you have a very cozy home environment once you're married. And maybe if one of you is a homebody, you do have a lot of movie nights in to sort of compromise, because maybe you're very go, 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 like you're always going out on like hikes and like maybe, I don't know, just like maybe one of you likes to be outside a lot and the other person likes to be indoors a lot. And so maybe you'd have a lot of movie nights in to sort of compromise and balance out all of the outdoor activities that you guys do, because the other person loves to be outdoors. And I say outdoors too because the green here makes me think of heart chakra being open, but it also makes me think that one of you guys really likes to be outside a lot. I don't know why. Sometimes the messages get a bit random, but if it comes through, I just say it because it may resonate with a few of you. Okay, pile 1. Any astrological information, zodiac signs, significant houses in this marriage, movie night in with their future spouse. Please, Spirit. So Gemini, Libra. Whoa, 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 whoa. We've got Aries, 3rd house. Okay, bottom of the deck was opposition, and literally under that it says balance. Didn't I say in the beginning with the Justice card? And you've got Libra here too, and you've got the King of Swords, which was also making me think of Libra because it's an air sign. So again, like the overall theme of your marriage is balance, of two very different people coming together and finding harmony. Okay, now you've got Gemini twice, because you have Gemini and you also have the 3rd house, which Gemini rules. So again, I think of balance, but I also think communication is the bedrock of this relationship. And that makes a lot of sense, because if you both are so different, your communication would have to be top notch for this to work. And it does. It does. So, and I also, Gemini is also very restless. So again, like that could be like your typical energy. You know, you're in your head a lot, you're restless, you're like moving around, and then one of you is very grounding and helps bring that other person down a bit. Because we have a lot of air energy here, because we also have Libra, and then we had the King of Swords in the beginning. So Yes, Libra, we also think of balance. We also think of love, of attraction, harmony. So these could be significant zodiac signs or just the energy that exists between you. And then we also have Aries here. So that can make sense. Like maybe one of you is an Aries sun sign, but they bring out that Queen of Cups side or that King of Swords side to you. That's a bit, like the Queen of Cups especially would be a bit softer. But yeah, I think one of you likes to go, 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 do, do, do. And the other person is a bit more like of a home buddy, like I said, in their head a lot. And then I'm also thinking with Libra, there's just a lot of mutual physical attraction here, which makes sense if it's your future spouse. But, you know, we can fall for people for different reasons. It's not always about someone's physical appearance, but I am getting the sense that you guys really are physically attracted to one another. And it also makes me think, Libra makes me think of aesthetics. So I do feel like you'll have a home that is very aesthetically pleasing once you get married and you move in together, or even if you move in together before you get married. You know, people have different paths, but paths. Sorry, I think that sounded like past. But yes, so that makes me think that one of you is maybe really into interior design, or you're just really big on like what your home looks like. Maybe there's a bit of Cancer energy here too. Maybe one of you could have a Venus in Libra or a Venus in Cancer. I don't know why Cancer just popped into my head. Maybe because I'm a Venus in Cancer and I was thinking about that earlier. But there's been something about one of you being a home buddy. So it could also be like a Cancer moon. That could also be a possibility. Yeah, this could also represent moon signs as well. I'm trying to think of anything else that's coming through here. I feel like with Gemini, with the twins, it's kind of like you two, when you come together, sort of represent the sign of Gemini, because again, it's like the two opposite twins, but yet you work so well together, you belong together. So it's like your whole connection is like represented by Gemini, which Gemini is also the card in the major arcana that is associated with, Gemini, the sign, is associated with the major arcana card of the Lovers, which is soulmate. So, like, you two are made for each other. So I love that. I think of Aries too, with passion coming through. Like, you might make out during the movie. There like might be, again, with that physical attraction, that fire, that heat. There would be like physical attraction, the air makes the fire bigger, and this is like passion, heat, so could definitely be some of that going on during the movie. Okay. Also with Gemini, maybe you can't resist like talking to each other during the movie. You may be having some like commentary. Gemini makes me think of the Greek chorus. You know, in like Greek mythology, that's like an archetype, I guess. So maybe you guys have some witty banter, you crack some jokes about the movies that you're watching. You know how sometimes you watch a really crappy movie and the jokes that you make during the movie make it fun, even though the movie kind of sucks? I definitely think that could also be a possibility. So we have the Garden and the Gardener. Shut up. Bottom of the deck, we have self-respect. Okay. This is so funny. The Garden and the Gardener, you guys are made for each other. And I feel like you both like switch in these energies. Like when one person needs to be the gardener, the person who takes care of the other person, you can be that energy. And when they need, you know what I mean? And then it can flip when they need you to take care of them. You are the gardener and they are the garden. So I feel like it's, again, very balanced. You guys can both play this role. But I feel like it's a very nurturing, very sweet, very kind connection. I feel like you both have a lot of respect for one another. And it's because you independently have a lot of self-respect. So you ask the other person to meet you there, and they do. They're able to, because like I have a lot of self-respect, so these are my boundaries, these are my expectations, these are my standards, and they're like, okay. these are my boundaries, these are my expectations, these are my standards, and because you both respect yourself, you demand that respect from each other, and you're willing to give it. Like, you're both are like strong, independent characters on your own, but then you come together and you meet each other. Like, I'm a queen and I see that you're a king. I'm a king and I see that you're a queen. And again, we're just talking about energy. We're not talking about gender. But I think that's really beautiful. And then with the garden and the gardener here, I also get the sense of like, we're going to come together and expand, because you got the 10 of Pentacles in the beginning. So I do feel like financially, this is a very expansive union. And I feel like if you want a family, there's fertile ground here for that. I feel like whatever abundance means to you specifically is what this connection will be. Man, you guys have a great marriage. Yeah, so let's just wrap up. I picked a love message from your future spouse's higher self. This card has come up a lot in some of my other readings, so if you recognize this, definitely you're picking the right groups. But yeah, let's see what they have to say. It says, look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. I love that you got the ocean, and then there's Finding Nemo. So, and you also got the Queen of Cups, so maybe one of you is really into the water. Maybe you're a strong swimmer, or you like, maybe you like to go on cruises, or you want to do that someday. I know with the pandemic, that's like a whole thing, but maybe you are into, I don't know, kayaking. You just love the water. Maybe you love the beach. One of you is into the water, connected to the water in some way. Okay, that was your reading. I hope that it resonated. I hope that you liked it. If you like these more looser style, like fun theme kind of future spouse readings, let me know. Yeah, so like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you always know when I upload. And I will see you guys in my next one. Please take care, Pile 1. Alright, Pile 2, if you chose the matchstick, this is your reading. So on the back of this card, I've listed out 3 movies that you guys could watch during a movie night. We'll also get some more like movie genres that your future spouse may like. We'll also maybe pick up on your energy as well. Sometimes in these readings, because I'm kind of channeling both of you, sometimes it'll get all mixed around, so just take what resonates. If something doesn't sound like you, then I'm picking up your future spouse. Alright, so let's get into it. So we have Legally Blonde, Encanto, and some Spider-Man movie. I don't know a lot about superhero movies, but I kept thinking about Spider-Man when I was writing out the other 2. And so maybe either you or your future spouse really likes superhero movies. Maybe Spider-Man is their favorite superhero. I don't know, there's something about Spider-Man. so random. And this is a newer movie, so maybe you're not too far off from meeting your future spouse. And yeah, so I felt like out of all the groups, this one had like 3 like fun movies. So I feel like your dynamic with your future spouse is really fun and lighthearted. Like, it's not, there wasn't this sense of like seriousness, which I really like. I feel like you both are really connected to your inner child, like kind of like I'm a forever kid at heart kind of thing. Or it could be too that you and your future spouse end up having children together, and like you watch these movies with your kids. That could also be a message. So just take what resonates. Alright, so Pile 2, movie night with their future spouse. What would a movie night with their future spouse be like? What will their marriage be like? What will be their energy? Thank you to Pile 2 spirit guides, as well as Pile 2's future spouse's higher self. Movie night with Pile 2's future spouse. Movie night with Pile 2's future spouse. Okay. It'll be interesting to see how your reading lays out compared to pile 1. Alright, so we have the 7 of Wands. We have the Chariot. 10 of Pentacles. This also came up in pile 1. Justice. This also came up in pile 1. Okay, so maybe you were drawn to pile 1. There may be a couple messages there for you. Actually, I want to get one more card. The Lovers. Look at that. Okay, bottom of the deck we have the King of Swords, which also came out in pile 1, and I did shuffle, so if you were drawn to pile 1, there may be some messages there for you. But if you weren't, then let it go. But, you know, King of Swords is Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra energy. And you have Libra here twice, just like pile 1 did. So, and you also have Gemini here. So again, air sign energy could be significant either for you or for them, or just your dynamic together. But just like pile 1, I'm definitely getting an energy of like communication is really important, and fair and balanced energy is very important, like values in this marriage. So I'm definitely getting like 2 of Cups, equal give and take here. It doesn't mean it's always 50-50, but it's sort of like you guys move in tandem together. So if one of you needs some extra attention on one day, you're struggling, that person will meet you there. And if it's the reverse and they need that extra support, you will meet them there. You move together, and it's really beautiful. I feel like with this 7 of Wands, it's kind of giving me the vibe here that maybe one or both of you are workaholics, or maybe there's just a lot going on in your life. You have responsibilities to other people. You're doing a lot in some way. You feel a bit overwhelmed, and it's like you both still make that time to spend together, even though one or both of you is very busy. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting, especially with the 10 of Pentacles here. I feel like one or both of you is very career oriented. With the Chariot, you're always go, 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 go. And so, again, that's one or both of you. But you still make time for like movie nights. You still make time for date nights. You still make time to connect with one another. So we do have Cancer coming through with the Chariot, Libra with Justice. We have a little bit of Earth, a little bit of Fire, and then we have Gemini, the Lovers. So we have a whole mixed bag here of zodiac signs. We will be pulling some astrology cards later on, but when it's a general reading, you kind of have that expectation that there's going to be a lot of zodiac signs coming forward, so that's to be expected. But I feel like it's really beautiful that even though there's this busy and hecticness and feeling like you have a million things to do and it's all coming at you and you're tired, still prioritizing the relationship is really beautiful. With the Lovers, you could be marrying your soulmate. That could be a message. And then I think too, there could be this aspect for some of you that this connection starts off as long distance, and that's why it's so hard to coordinate a time to see each other. And like maybe you watch movies together, like you have to time it and you press play at the same time, and like you're watching from your home and they're several states away or in a different country or a different city, they're somewhere far away, and they're pressing play at the same time, and you're trying to time your movies together, and it's kind of difficult. I tried that once with my best friend who lives in Virginia, and it was like, oh my gosh, like trying to, and then if like one of us had to like go get a snack or like go to the bathroom or something, it was like, oh no, we gotta pause and start this all over again of like trying to time the movie to play at the exact same time so that I don't hear like your movie going on in the background at a different like place than mine, because even if it's a few minutes off or a few seconds off, I should say, it's a mess. So like that could be a thing going on. So maybe at some point in this relationship, you decide to relocate or they relocate to be with you. That could be a message as well. And yeah, I do feel like this is a very financially secure relationship for sure. That's what I'm picking up so far. Not quite as many messages are coming through for you guys compared to pile 1. So what that typically means is when I get into the oracle cards, a bunch of messages are gonna come out. That's how it sometimes goes. Like sometimes your guides want to talk more through the oracle than they do the tarot. I don't know why, it just sometimes happens that way. There will be one card that I spend like 10 minutes on. Okay, pile 2. What will a movie night look like with their future spouse? What will a movie night look like with pile 2's future spouse? What is their dynamic, their relationship like? Pile 2's future spouse. We have confidence. Love it. Serenity also came out in pile 1. We have protection. We have strength. I'm going to put that over there. Bottom of the deck, we have imagination. Also came out in pile 1. Okay. Oh, and then love. I have to show love. Come on. Okay. So, I do feel like one of you may be a little bit more dominant in this relationship. Like, I feel like there is a sense of balance between you, but it's almost like it's coming out a little bit differently than it did in pile 1. A little bit differently. It's subtle, the difference. But it's like when you meet this person, one of you is a little bit more stable and secure, I think, in terms of career or finances than the other person. But the other person is like really hustling. Like they have big dreams, okay? And they're on their way up, but they're not quite where that other person is yet. And so through this other person's like support, either that's financial support, emotional support, giving them a confidence boost, whatever the case may be, this person actually may surpass this person at a certain point. But even though this person is now here and this person is now here, it feels like they're in perfect balance because this person will always be grateful to how this person helped them. And there will never be this ego about you're here, I'm there, you're there. There will never be an ego about that. This person never made this person feel like they were less than when they were here. And this person never forgets the help that this person gave them. And so they're grateful for this help. And this person never makes them feel like they owe them something. So it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. This is really a true case of like, I'm going to help build you up. I'm going to express gratitude because you helped build me up. And I'm never going to make you feel like you owe me something. Like, it's just very beautiful the way that unfolds. And I feel like, too, there's this sense of like confidence and strength. So we're getting Leo energy here twice now for me. So Leo could be a significant zodiac sign placement for either you or your future spouse, or that's just sort of the overarching energy of this marriage of like, we really build each other up. We can really depend and rely upon each other. We can meet any challenge together because of this confidence and the strength that comes through. And there may be times where your marriage is tested by some sort of external force, but like you keep holding down the fort, and they do too. Like, even though there may be temptations, like especially if it's long distance, like if there's some sort of third party that's trying to come in, or maybe a family member that's trying to stir up drama, or a friend that's like wanting them to keep going out and partying with them and doesn't want them to settle down. Like if there's some sort of like outside temptation, it's like no. Like it won't even hold a candle because our marriage, our relationship is so strong that won't even be a thing. And then here with serenity and protection, I just feel like you always feel so safe. Like, this is definitely, like, if you had a movie night, you guys would be my cuddlers. Like, you would just be so wrapped up in each other. Like, when you finally are in the same location, if this does start off as long distance, I feel like you won't be able to keep your hands off of each other, and not in like a super sexual way. I feel like it's also in a very like sweet and innocent way of like, I want to like have my hand on your knee, or I want to hold your hand. I feel like there's this sweetness here as well. Not to say that there isn't a lot of passion, because you do have this fire energy coming through, but I also feel like there's a sense of like sweetness and safety, and like you feel like home to me, and it's very cozy. It's very cozy. Like, if you had a movie night, there would be a fire, there would be hot cocoa, there would maybe be some fairy lights, like some candles, I don't know. There would just be this like cozy home environment. I feel like that's that Cancer energy with the Chariot we had in the beginning coming out as well, of like you would just have a very cozy, warm, inviting, comfortable home. It wouldn't be a home that felt like a showroom, or a home that was messy and cluttered. It would just feel very like comfortable and warm and inviting. It would always smell good. You kind of have the house that always smells like chocolate chip cookies, something like that. One of you could be super into baking. Yeah. And I feel like too with imagination, there's just this expansiveness to this connection, that I also picked up in pile 1, and it's because this card also came out with them as well. But there's just this expansiveness where you really open each other up to a different side of yourself, or to new experiences. They would get you to watch movies that maybe you typically wouldn't watch, that kind of thing. But I also feel like there's an element here of creativity. So I feel like one of you could be very artistic, and your future spouse kind of serves as a muse, or maybe your future spouse is very artistic and you serve as a muse to them. Not in a way where they're idealizing you or romanticizing you in an unhealthy way, but just sort of like they see the beauty in you, and your beauty is inspiring to them, both physically and inner beauty. I feel like it's both, honestly. But I feel like one of you is just very inspiring, and it could be that you're both artists, and that's both of like, you both like mutually inspire one another. That could be a possibility as well. Yeah, I feel like that's all I'm getting so far. Okay. I also feel like, again, like there's just this, like we feel all safe and cozy, but like we have so much fun together, because Leo is very fun. Leo also is very generous, so I feel like you're both very giving to one another. You guys would definitely be my group where you buy each other gifts a lot, and not like necessarily expensive things, but really thoughtful things. Like I saw this and it made me think of you. Like, if you say that to a Leo, they're like head over heels in love with you. Like, we just like to know that we were thought of. Like, oh, that made you think of me? Like, and you're buying me a gift? Love this attention. Like, that's very Leo. Okay. Leo also rules the heart, so I feel like there's a lot of heart to this connection. And you're like, well, Bethany, it's my future spouse, it's my marriage, of course, like the heart is important. But when I say that, I mean like there's this brave heart energy, like this courageousness, this protection here. Like, I will fight any fight for you. I will like wear my heart on my sleeve. I am willing to like put my heart on the line for you. I am willing to go the distance. I am willing to fight anyone who tries to threaten us. Like, I am willing to, like, this is the kind of like connection where you can stand on your own, you can fight your own battles, but you never have to, because this person is by your side. Like, if you were in a situation where like several people were like tearing you down, your future spouse would come in and like swoop in, and even though like you have it handled, they would still have your back. Like, they would not be afraid to speak up on your behalf. They would not be afraid to defend you, you know? And it's not because, like, they know you can handle it on your own, but they don't want you to have to. They're like, no, I will always have your back. There's a sense here of, like, loyalty. Loyalty is so important to Leo as well. Sorry, my stomach's grumbling because I haven't had breakfast. I don't eat until 12, so it's always, like, fussing at me. But yeah, so there's just this sense here of, like, unwavering loyalty. Like, you could be dead wrong, but your future spouse won't tell you until you're alone in private together, and they'll be like, hey, like, you were kind of wrong on that. But, like, publicly, they will always have your back. Okay, this fluffy black cat just walked by. So yeah, cats, Leo again. Like, Leo energy here is very significant. Cats could be a spirit animal for you, could be a spirit guide for you. Yeah, so I feel like just this loyalty that goes both ways. Like, I feel like you guys really just always stand up for each other. And then it's never, you know, some people always have to play the devil's advocate. That's not your relationship. Like, not at all. Like, you're very supportive of one another. And again, like, they wouldn't call you out in public. They would have a private conversation with you if they felt that you were wrong in some way. But publicly, they would always support you. They would always have your back. Okay. Any astrological information, zodiac signs that are significant in this connection? What would a movie night with their future spouse be like, please, Spirit? Movie night with their future spouse. Okay, we'll take that one since it wanted to come out. Aries also came out in pile 1. I'm not telling you that you have to go watch pile 1 again. Like, if you weren't drawn to it, you weren't. But I like to say that when I do see cards that repeat, just in case, you know, you were maybe split between pile 1 and pile 2. Okay, pile 2. Pile 2, please, Spirit. Scorpio. Venus. 7th house. Okay, man. Libra is all over the place. And it makes sense because Venus is the planet of love. We have the 7th house, which is our close relationships. Libra energy again with the scale. So you have a Libra now 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. So definitely that is a significant placement. It doesn't mean that they have to be a Libra sun sign. Like, I myself have 7th house placements all over the place in my birth chart. Like, I am like very heavy in the 7th house. So that could be the case for your future spouse. Maybe the 7th house is a, you know, significant placement, or maybe their Venus is in Libra or their Venus is in the 7th house, something like that. That could also be talking about you or both of you. But yes, I feel like there's kind of this feeling of maybe you guys have different sun and moon placements, but maybe you both have the same Venus placement. And so you both know intuitively what the other person needs in love because you express love in the same way, like you have the same love language. That could be a heavy possibility in this marriage for sure. But yeah, there is a lot of love here, man. And I feel like even though there was that busy energy coming through where it's like maybe one or both of you are workaholics, there's still this sense of like, even though I'm very career or goal oriented, I prioritize you. Like, you are still at the top of my priorities. Like, all this work I'm doing is for you. It's for us. It's for our future. And when push comes to shove, you are at the top of my priority list and I'm at the top of yours, because there's a lot here about balance. And again, like this sense of beauty, like I feel like you guys are gonna have a really, really beautiful home. Like, I'm not necessarily saying you're gonna live in a mansion. I'm just saying that your home, wherever it is gonna be beautiful, and it's gonna be a perfect harmony between like your aesthetic and their aesthetic. Or maybe if they're not super into that and you are, they're just gonna let you create a home for them. Like, they're just gonna let you do your thing, and they're gonna see beauty where you see beauty, you know? Like, they are so enamored by you that whatever you do to the home, because there's a lot here about the home that's coming through very strongly, but to live in a house that is reflective of like your taste makes them feel like they see you everywhere, and they love that. They want to be surrounded by your energy. That's coming through very strongly. Now, if you're not into interior design at all, then just flip that. That's your future spouse. Because again, sometimes it's hard to isolate like what is your energy and what is their energy. So I want to be honest about that. And then here with Aries and Scorpio, I feel like with Aries there's a lot of passion here, but I also feel like with Aries, because Aries is very impulsive and very action oriented, it kind of comes through again like if someone says anything to you that is left, if someone says anything that is disparaging to your character, if someone is trying to start a fight with you, your future spouse is like in it. Like they are like totally like, I am defending my person's honor, and not in a chauvinistic way or anything like that. It's just that they're like, how dare you? Like, don't you even say anything about my person. My person is amazing. Like, how dare you? Yeah, like they are like fiercely protective of you, and if you have kids, of your family. Like, no one better do anything to your child, or they would be like mama bear, papa bear energy. Like, I am defending our family. Family is a very core value here. And if you don't want kids, then they're very protective of your pet. Like, there's just something there of like very like defending what is ours. And I feel like too, this is also, I'm sorry, my stomach is grumbling so much, I hope you can't hear it. But with Aries, there's also this vibe of like, what I say, I will match in my actions. So if I promise I'm gonna have a movie night with you, I am gonna have a movie night with you. And if I say I'm gonna pick up takeout for us to eat during the movie night, then I'm gonna do that. Like, this is someone who's very reliable, very dependable. You know, they say what they mean and they do what they say. Like, yes, they keep their promises. And then with Scorpio here, there's such depth here to this connection. Like, even though it's very fun and lighthearted, it's also very fierce and very passionate, and like just so much love. There's so much love all around. And there's also this idea, remember how I said they wouldn't publicly disagree with you? They would pull you aside and say it in private. It's kind of that energy too with Scorpio. Because Scorpio is also very loyal to me. Scorpio and Leos, I think, are two of the most loyal signs. But there's this idea here of, I respect the privacy of our connection, and I'm not gonna go and tell the secrets of our marriage, or like your secrets, or like our personal business. I'm not gonna put it on broadcast. Like, if you and I are having a disagreement, I will keep that private. I'm not gonna go tell the world what a jerk my spouse is. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, even if I'm mad at you, I am still gonna be loyal to us. There's this protective energy that comes through. And I feel like too, remember how I said in the beginning with the 7 of Wands, you would be able to meet every challenge, and I do feel like there are some challenges that are presenting to your connection either early on or later in the connection. I feel like there may be something that's trying to test your connection, and that idea that like it doesn't even matter, it's so insignificant to the love that is here. With Scorpio, it's like these factors, these external factors that are trying to test our connection, our marriage, only make us stronger because we're able to transform for the better. You know, Scorpio is the death card. It's about deep transformation and healing. So it's like we transform, like we meet every challenge by transforming into an even stronger, better version. So it's like it doesn't even phase your marriage. It's beautiful energy. Okay, I feel like that, remember, like, I feel like I'm talking a lot more with the oracle cards than I did with the tarot. Like I said, sometimes that happens in readings. Okay, so let's get some more information about pile 2. Movie night with their future spouse. What will their marriage be like? Pile 2. Movie night in with their future spouse. There is so much love here. We've said that a million times. Always love to see confirmation of that, though. I don't know if you guys remember, but love was also your bottom of the deck energy here. So there is so much love here. So much. The Rainbow Reviver. Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay. Bottom of the deck, we have dating. So this is definitely a person that you're going to be dating. And I know that sounds kind of funny. You're like, well, of course I'm going to be dating my future spouse. But you know, like some connections may start off as friends and then may just go from like friends to romantic partner. You don't have that kind of dynamic. This does start off as like we're formally dating each other and then it evolves into marriage. Maybe if you do start off as friends, you do make a conscious decision to change to dating. It doesn't just go from friends to bam, we're in a relationship. Maybe it's more cautious than that. You're like, well, we're friends, let's try dating. You know, that sort of energy. Okay. So again, love. There's so much love all around that doesn't need any explanation. But with the Rainbow Reviver is really sticking out to me. Again, like even as your relationship may go through a rough patch because of like whatever external challenge is going on, especially like if you're long distance, there's still going to be a revival. Like our love is infinite. There's always going to be a revival of love. Like our relationship can really stand any challenge that's presented to it because the bedrock is love. There's so much love here that we're always willing to both put in the effort. The scales are always balanced in some way. We always return to center, which is love. Because again, it's sort of this like yoga pose, meditation pose going on here. Like we always return to center and our natural state is love. And then with reparenting yourself, again, I feel like there's just this protective energy of like, it is a bit parental in nature of like, I'm going to nurture you, I'm going to protect you, I'm going to take care of you, but it's balanced. Like you feel the same way. So it's like maybe both of you had like parents that weren't what you needed as a child, or maybe that was just one of you. Maybe one of you has like some real deep family issues and the other person recognizes that, and so they sort of fill in the gaps. Like if you don't have a mom, they'll fill in that energy when you need it, or if you don't have a father, they'll fill in that energy when you need it, or if you have, like I said, a parent that can't meet your needs for whatever reason, they fill in that gap for you. And I feel like that's kind of the core of this connection, is that we're not just romantic partners, we're family. Because that's where that protective energy comes in. Like, I'm going to defend my family. My family is the most important thing to me. You are my family. You are my partner. And I will protect us no matter what the cost. And, you know, like you feel the same way. There's just this loyalty, this love, this like, your values are very much aligned. No matter how different you are, you share those same core values. And that's why no one, no thing, no challenge, no external force can tear you apart, because you share the same values. You both are headed in the same direction. And I know this is getting really deep, but that sometimes happens. Like, we'll start off with like a cute, like, what would a movie night be like? And then we get these really deep, beautiful messages. So like I said, we just kind of free wheel these readings, and like wherever it takes us. Like pile 3 may be super lighthearted, and then you guys like get real deep. but that makes sense because we did have Scorpio come out. But I do feel like, again, with reparenting yourself, I do feel like you both are connected to your inner child. And so there's like this deepness, this depth with Scorpio energy, but there's that Leo energy too of like fun, lightheartedness. Yeah, that comes through for sure. Okay, this was your reading, pile 2. Oh, I almost forgot. So I channeled well, I didn't channel, I keep saying that. It was because I was doing a lot of those channeled letters, and that's why I keep saying channeled. I picked a message from your future spouse's higher self, and so this is a love message they would like to share with you now. This card has been coming up a lot, so if you've seen this in a past reading, that can be extra confirmation that your intuition is on point and you are picking the right groups. Okay, this says romance, Cupid's arrow strikes. So this could be love at first sight, for sure. This could also just be like, there was my life before this person and there's my life after this person. And they're a whole new fresh chapter. Like the romance, the love I have for them moves them to the top of my priority list. But I also feel like there's, again, like romance, there's just love. Like there's so much love here. And they want you to feel that even now. Even if they're not in your life yet, they want you to feel that. Okay, pile 2, this was your reading. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it resonated. I hope that it struck a chord within you, pulled at your heartstrings, all that good stuff. Yeah, so like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you always know when I upload. And I will see you guys in my next one. Please take care, pile 2. Alright, for everyone who chose the little Beetlejuice character from the movie, welcome to your reading. I think I'm going to put this over here. Okay, so I will actually say for this character in particular, maybe you or your future spouse really like sort of the classic like family kind of scary movies where they're not really that scary or like at all. You know, like the Addams Family movies, or you know, like Beetlejuice, Nightmare Before Christmas, you know, those sorts of movies, like Corpse Bride, something like that is coming through. Or you just really kind of like the cult classic movies. That could also be a possibility. And if that's not you, that's your future spouse coming through. Okay, so on the back of this card, I have written 3 movies. That could be movies that you watch with your future spouse, or movies that really sort of align with like your personality or their personality, things that you would enjoy watching together. So we have Almost Famous, Whip It, and The Runaways. So your movies weren't quite as like popular, or maybe like not quite as well known. They're still like well-known movies, but not quite as much as pile 1 and pile 2. Your group was a little bit different. And I would say too, like all these, well, these 2 movies in particular deal with music, right? So someone here, either you or your future spouse could be a musician, or music is something that you guys bond over. You listen to the same music, or you expose each other to, you know, like different artists that you enjoy. Music is something that you connect over, or like a music is just a big part of your life or their life, or like I said, something that you guys bond over. And I would say too, like when I was writing Whip It down, like I haven't seen this movie since high school. Like I haven't thought about it in ages. This has Ellen Page in it. She was in Juno. But this movie, like the soundtrack sticks out in my head. It has that Peaches song, like girls wanna be her. No, boys wanna be her. I don't know, something like that. That song started playing in my head because it's got this distinctive beat. The way it opens up, it's like dun dun dun. So I can't do it. But yeah, this movie is about roller derby. So there's something here that's like unique, a little bit different, a little bit more alternative than pile 1 and pile 2. So I do feel like you or your future spouse is definitely unique. I'm getting like Aquarius vibes from this. But yeah, music is definitely a big part here. I do feel like you or your future spouse have a distinct way of dressing. Like you have your, like a very unique style that's also coming through. Okay, so enough about that. Let's get into your reading. So pile 3, please Spirit, what would a movie night in look like with their future spouse? Movie night in with their future spouse. Pile 3's future spouse's higher self. Please feel free to come through as well. And we'll say a big thank you to my guides and your guides, as well as your future spouse's higher self for providing these messages today. So pile 3, what's their marriage going to be like? What's the energy, the dynamic between them? What would a movie night look like for pile 3 and their future spouse? So I will say too, like, pile 1 got a lot of messages about the movie night. Pile 2 got a bit like, zoop, like it just started to, like they got a lot of messages about their marriage in general. So it'll be interesting to see like where it goes with your group, because I don't force messages. Like if Spirit wants to take it in a different direction, then that's where we go. Like, and pile 3 is always like, I call you guys my wild card group, because pile 3 always kind of does their own thing, and even with your movie selections, it was still a bit offbeat. So these are all great movies, by the way. Okay, so pile 3. Pile 3, movie night in with their future spouse, please Spirit. Okay, you guys are gonna stay up all night. You would stay up watching movies like until morning. That's coming through automatically here. You're not sleeping. So we got the Nine of Wands. Aww. The thing that I have appreciated and loved about every single group is that you got some message about balance. And actually I'm gonna move you over here now. I got a message about balance, and I love that so much, because that is one of the most important parts of a marriage, of a love connection, is having balance. And so I love that that has also come out for you guys as well. Let's go ahead and take the bottom of the deck here. We've got the moon. So yes, I feel like you would stay up all night watching movies, or you would go to a movie at a movie theater like really late at night. I'm getting the vibe for you guys as well. Like you would definitely like cuddle together in the bed, like watching a movie on your laptop, like even over watching a movie like in the living room on a TV. Like there's just something about like I want to be super close to you. Also, like maybe one or both of you has insomnia, and so you do tend to like watch movies late at night, and so like either you or them like just keeps really late hours, and so that may start affecting you as well. You may start keeping their hours, or maybe you're like this and they start, you know, keeping your hours. There's just something about someone staying up late at night and having insomnia, not being able to sleep, so you would put on a movie, that kind of thing. I also feel like movies are something that you could bond over. I feel like there's something here about bonding with art. So it's either like music, movies, TV shows, like pop culture related things, even like fashion, because I got the sense that one of you has a unique sense of style. That could be something that you bond over, for sure. Let's see here. So we have the moon. I think of Cancer, I think of Pisces. Got a little bit of air energy, a little bit of fire, a little bit of earth, so kind of similar to pile 2. There's all kind of zodiac energies going around. We'll get specific astrological messages later on, but I feel like there's also a sense here of like being willing to compromise. So maybe you two are both very unique individuals, and so you're kind of different from everybody in addition to being different from each other, and so like you do compromise you know, like on like what you want to watch in terms of movies. Like you're able to compromise with each other across a bunch of different areas of your life. And I feel like with the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Swords, there's this energy of being like tired and exhausted, and like sort of the beauty in that of like as tired and exhausting as like other areas of my life are, the way I'm constantly having to juggle things, I get to come home to you. And I think that's probably the best message that I'm getting so far, is I get to come home to you. Like, even though I'm exhausted and tired and overworked and juggling a million different things, I get to come home to you, and that makes it all worth it at the end of the day. And with the moon here too, there's this sense of like intuitively we just get each other and we know what the other person needs. Because I kind of get the feeling that both of you are really tired. Maybe like one of you is going to school and working, and the other person just has a very demanding job. Or maybe, because I'm getting kind of like this is like my artist group, maybe one of you has some sort of like artistic side hustle or hobby that takes up a lot of time. Or maybe you just have a lot of responsibilities going on in your life, but you're sort of the guiding light back to each other with the moon. Like, you sort of shine my way. Like, I always can follow the moon. I can always follow my way back to you. Like, you are what keeps me stable, keeps me grounded. Like, you keep me at ease when I'm feeling so anxious, when I'm feeling so tired and overwhelmed. Like, you pull me back. Like, you keep me emotionally stable, like, because I know your love was always there. Your love is always going to shine down. Like, the moon is the light in the night. Like, you are the moon to them. And I feel like that's balanced. I feel like that works both ways in this connection for sure. So yeah, that's what I'm getting so far. Let's see what else we have. So movie night in with pile 3. Movie night in with pile 3's future spouse. Movie night in with pile 3's future spouse. I feel like also with the moon, you guys may like watch darker movies, like either like horror, intense dramas. Like, you're not like watching, I don't know, like there's just something about like watching, maybe one of you likes true crime. I don't know, there's just something there about like watching things that are a bit like intense in some way. Okay. So we've got banishment. Oh, 2. Confidence. This came out in pile 2. Wisdom. Let's get one more. I lied, getting 2 more. We got sanctuary, and we have meditation. This came out, I believe, in pile 1. And then we have courage here at the bottom of the deck, which goes really well with confidence. Courage and confidence make me think of Leo. Okay, so to me, sanctuary, banishment, and meditation are all getting at the same thing. So some of you have an issue with anxiety or insomnia, like at least one of you does. That's a problem. Or you have difficulty managing your stress. Maybe you neglect your self-care. There may be some issues with self-worth or self-confidence, or maybe that's something you've had to work on, or your future spouse has had to work on. But there's something here about feeling overwhelmed and feeling overworked and tired and just exhausted. Yeah, that's definitely coming through. But I feel like with your future spouse, one of you, again, there's just this sense here of like, this love, this relationship is my sanctuary. This love banishes all of those anxious thoughts. This love makes me feel at peace, makes me feel centered, helps my chakras get into alignment. Like, there's something very healing about this relationship. Maybe one of you is a pessimist and the other is an optimist, and that optimist is really good at helping that pessimist get out of their funk. Could be too that maybe one of you maybe maybe copes with like cyclical depression or something like that, or maybe they've really had to work on their anxiety. Maybe they have some sort of like mental health issue that they have to be mindful of. And it's not like one person is saving the other person, but it's more so like my love for you can be a safe space. And whenever you need to return to that safe space, you can. Like, I will hold space for you. I will express that compassion towards you when the world is beating you down. Like, I will be that anchor for you when you need it. And because we have the Two of Cups here, it's like I can be that for you too. Like, it's mutual give and take. It's not like one person is constantly giving to the other person and there's no balance. You have two cards here about balance. So maybe both of you have had some mental health struggles, and then you find a partner who is understanding of that because they themselves have been through it, and so you provide this for each other, which I think is beautiful. Okay. And then we have confidence here, so I do feel like there's this sense of like, I'm gonna hold space for you, I'm gonna hype you up, I'm gonna be your cheerleader, your biggest supporter. That's coming through. And I feel like with wisdom too, you just learn a lot of lessons together. And it could be too, like, kind of like with pile one, like maybe some of these movies that you watch are good like conversation starters and can really sort of spark conversation where you learn a lot about each other. And it's sort of like I can share my experience with you and what I've learned, and even though you yourself have not been through that experience, by me sharing it with you, now I've taught you something. And it's the same thing, like it's mutual here. Like, you provide that to them as well, they provide it to you. So I feel like this is just a connection that really, at the center of it, like, yes, there's a lot of balance, but I feel like there's also this sense of like safety and security and growth. A lot here about growth. You know, I feel like sometimes there's this energy of like, you need to do your healing and you need to work on yourself before you can align with your future spouse, your soulmate, whoever. But sometimes we can only do so much inner work, and we can only go so far in our healing journey, because this is a lifelong process. Like, we're never going to reach perfection. Like, that's kind of the point of the human experience. And so like, you get so far in your journey, and then the universe or your guides are like, okay, they're ready now, let me send them their person, and then through that person you complete the rest of your journey. So I feel like sometimes that gets misconstrued, and you kind of have that idea of like, you have to be the absolute best version of yourself before your partner can come in. And it's like, well, if that was the case, like, you would meet your partner and it would be like happily ever after. Like, that's not how life is. Like, you're still growing, you're still learning, but now you're growing and learning together, and that's the point of it. Okay, so, and you are worthy too. I feel like your future spouse's higher self is coming through and saying you are worthy. Like, just because you still struggle with anxiety or depression, like if that's you, or you just in general tend to overwork yourself and you're not great at handling stress or crisis, or maybe you're not good at advocating for yourself, you give up too easily, you have some self-worth issues, like whatever the case may be. It's a general reading, so it's going to vary. You are still worthy of love. You are still worthy of a partner right here, right now. Right here, right now. Like, you deserve love. You don't feel like you have to be in your best possible mental state all the time to get this partner in your life. Like, don't fall into that trap. That doesn't mean you get a free pass to not do your healing. Not saying that. Like, still always be working on yourself, but you should be working on yourself regardless, right? Like, that's life. Like, you work on yourself, you try to better yourself, you try to grow every day, try to be a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. Some days maybe you can't put in 100% effort towards that, maybe you're at 30%. That's okay, that's valid, but you're doing that anyway. It's not even about attracting another person, it's just about being the best you that you can be. But don't feel like that means you have to reach some sort of end point before you can get your partner. Like, that's it's about the journey, not the destination. It sounds corny, but it's true. So I feel like your future spouse's higher self just wanted to say, listen, like, we all have our issues, we all have our areas of growth. Don't feel like you don't deserve love because you have anxiety. Like, if that's the case, like, no, you still deserve love. You're still worthy of love. And it doesn't mean you're not ready for love. Okay. So, pile 3. This could also be my group where you've been through a lot of hard, challenging experiences in your life. And maybe your future spouse has as well. And that's a point to which you guys really connect on. Okay, pile 3, future spouse. Movie night with their future spouse. Pile 3. What's the dynamic like? Literally. Virgo, 6th house. Health and wellness. Yes. I feel like there's just this aspect to this marriage that really helps you with your wellness. That came out, I don't remember which group it is, but that came out in my coffee date video, like coffee date with your future spouse. There was a pile that had something about wellness. That's coming through here as well, of this sense of like, you start to value, and this could be your future spouse, you start to value and take care of yourself more because the other person helps you see that value. You want to take care of yourself. You want to treat yourself well so that you can live a long and healthy life, so that you can be there for your partner. And they want to feel that same way, like they take care of themselves so they can be there for you. And it's like through loving each other, through supporting each other, your self-love flourishes as well. Your self-love deepens. Your appreciation for your physical body deepens. Your appreciation for emotional, mental stability deepens. And I think that's really, really beautiful. Aw, we got a lot of houses. Okay. Even your bottom of the deck was 2nd house. This is Taurus. This is all your material goods, your material resources, your finances, even like your self-worth. I would even tie into this, but this is steady, stable. So I feel like this marriage is a stabilizing force. Like if things felt chaotic and overwhelming before this marriage, it feels a lot more stable and secure once you meet this person. And then with trine, flow, I feel like things are so easy between you because you really get each other. You really get each other. I feel like this is a group where you would have had similar life experiences, or you both, maybe you've been through different experiences, but you have been through pain and hurt, and you've had your struggles. And so you just understand how to be compassionate towards each other because you've been through it yourself, maybe in a different way, but you've been through it. And then here we have Leo. So we already talked about this card. We have Leo energy coming through. I think I picked up Leo as well with confidence. Yeah, so we have Leo energy coming through again with the 5th house of creativity. Like I said, I was picking up that maybe you guys are musicians or artists. Maybe one or both of you is. And there's also this sense of like taking care of one another, nurturing each other. If you had a difficult childhood, this person would recognize that and sort of honor the way in which you need to be a child now. Because like maybe you had to be an adult when you were younger and you sort of got robbed of your childhood. And so maybe you had to be a parent to your parent, that kind of thing. Or maybe you were the eldest sibling and you had to take care of your younger sibling, something like that. So like your future spouse would honor that and let you, connect to your inner child when you need to. Same thing for them. So that could be both of you are mirroring that in each other. I do feel like though this is just a very, very creative relationship. Like I feel like this would be like if we're going back to the movie night, like you would go to a play or you would go to like an old school movie theater that plays like foreign films or something like that. Yeah, or maybe like one of you has a bunch of like friends who are in a creative field, or there's just something very artistic about this group for sure. I feel like art is something that you guys really value. Yeah, anything related to the arts, I feel like would be a big value, a mutual value. Um, and then with the 11th house, we have Aquarius coming through. So maybe one or both of you has a large friend group. Maybe your friends are more like your family, and so you like to welcome your partner into that circle. And maybe your social circle expands a lot as a result of this marriage. I feel like also with the 11th house, I get a sense of like hope and a sense of almost like, because Aquarius is also very creative energy, and I think I said that in the very beginning, even just looking at your little figure here. I think I said I picked up Aquarius energy. Maybe I didn't say it. I'm pretty sure I did though. So I do feel like one or both of you has some Aquarius in your chart, but I also feel like a sense of, because Aquarius, innovator, that's the word I was looking for, innovation. Yes. So I feel like this is also very creative energy. And Leo and Aquarius are opposite signs, so they're mirror images of one another. So like they're like made of the same stuff, but they're like the flipped version of each other. And so I feel like there's this beautiful balance between prioritizing your own needs and thinking about their needs. And I also feel like there's this beautiful balance of like hope and innovation, and like this marriage really transforms your view of the world. And so again, like maybe you were very pessimistic before, but when this person comes in, you see so many different possibilities for life that were closed off to you before. So it's sort of like this idea of discovery as well. And I feel like I get soul tribe energy from Aquarius, so, and like soul family. So again, like maybe through this partner, through your future spouse, you connect with other members of your soul family. And I feel like there's also this idea of like a shared goal and a shared idea of what the future should be. And again, like it's a perfect harmony between like your personal goals and the goals of you and this partner together. Okay, I feel like that's all the messages that I'm getting from that. And I think I said, so Virgo, Leo, Aquarius have come up. All right. Yeah, I think things are just very easy between you. This is sort of like pile 2 got the message of like we're like romantic partners, but we're also family. You guys have the energy of like we're romantic partners, but we're also friends. Like this is like you're my partner, but you're also my best friend kind of energy. Okay, pile 3, and moving right in with their future spouse. Pile 3. What's the dynamic between pile 3 and their future spouse? This could be like, I don't know, you guys just seem so artsy to me. Like it could be like their friend has filmed a movie, and like you go over to their friend's house and you are like surrounded by all their friends, or like your friends are there too, and there's this feeling of like found family, and like the friend group is family, and you know, you're watching this movie that your friend directed, or that your friend starred in, or their friend starred in or directed. Like there's just this energy of like just this group of like creative people coming together. I don't know. You guys are very unique, and I like that. It's a different, definitely a different vibe from the first 2 groups. Like pile 1 was very traditional. Pile 2 was again all about that family aspect, and then you guys are all about the friends. Okay, pile 3, future spouse. Pile 3 and their future spouse. Pile 3, future spouse. Whoa. – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – ♪– – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – –– Can we get one more card, please, Spirit? Okay, and then we have sexuality as well. And then bottom of the deck, we have creativity. Okay, this card's a little bit scandalous. I'm trying not to get flagged. It's very mild, but still. Okay. So with connection, I do get like soulmate vibes from this. And the reason why I say soulmate too is because like, again, like I feel like meeting this person and getting married to them is gonna open you up to connecting with your soul family. And if you feel like you're already connected to your soul family, then you are bringing them into alignment with their soul family. Like there's just this idea that you guys share the same soul family. Yes. And then with emotional freedom, I feel like because this person just gets you and you get them, there's this emotional liberation. I feel like you have felt like the odd space cadet, that Aquarius energy where you felt so different and maybe like the odd man out, maybe sometimes like a black sheep in your family, and that's why your friends are so important to you. But there's kind of this feeling of like, now I feel emotionally liberated because I finally met someone who is like matching the beat of this drum. Like I'm dancing to my own tune all by myself, and then finally someone else joins me on the dance floor and they get this rhythm. They're getting this vibe that no one else has caught on to. Like they get it, you know? Like I'm not just dancing to the beat of my own drum anymore. I have a partner here, and it feels very liberating and very freeing. And then creativity, again, like that is, if communication was like the bedrock of pile one's connection, then creativity is the bedrock of your connection. Like you guys just feel so like, kind of like we can create anything together. We can go anywhere together. We can do anything together. Yeah, there's just this like fun energy that comes out with you guys as well, because Aquarius and Leo are very fun in different ways, but very fun. And so could be too that like one of you is a Leo and one of you is Aquarius, and so that can be like really explosive energy as well with sexuality. So yeah, I feel like also this person just awakens things in you that you haven't explored yet. That can be taken in a lot of different ways. But I feel like there's just this aspect here of life opening up. Yeah, definitely, for sure. I'm trying to think if there are any more messages that need to come through. I feel like maybe for some of you too, like maybe your home environment with this person may be a bit like other people would walk in and be like, this is a bit chaotic. But for you guys, like it would just fit. It would fit you to a T. There's something about it that's like, I don't know, like maybe you guys would live in like a really sort of creative space. Something like where everything is very free. Kind of like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Yours, Mine, and Ours. I think that's what it's called. It was kind of a knockoff, I think, of like Cheaper by the Dozen. But like the guy is like very uptight. He's like in the military, and everything is like ship shape is what he always says. Everything is ship shape. And then the female protagonist is like animals running amok. There's like kids like painting in the yard, and like having, the other kids are like having a water balloon fight, and there's like all these bright colors and like this kind of like bohemian kind of vibe going, and like free expression everywhere. And some people would walk into that and feel very overwhelmed, and then other people would walk into that and feel at home. And I feel like that's for you guys, like you finally met your match, someone who gets that bohemian free expression kind of vibe. Like you guys connect on that level, which I think is really beautiful. Okay, so final message here from your not your soulmate, sorry. There is a soulmate aspect to this. And again, like, look, you have the Two of Cups. So, in music, again, music, very important here to this connection. But your future spouse's higher self, I asked for this message. It came out before I was concentrating on saying pile 3 in my head. And so I put it back. And then I focused on pile 3, and then it came out again. So this was definitely your message. But yeah, so this is a message from your future spouse's higher self. So it says balance. Love is not always about agreeing just for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges. So again, like Leo, Aquarius, push and pull. You got the Two of Pentacles in the beginning. You got, what else did you get? Two of Cups in the beginning. Two of Cups again. Again, there's a lot here about balance. It's been across all 3 groups, just in different ways. But I feel like you and your future spouse get each other. Like Leo and Aquarius to me make great friends because they have that same again, they're made from the same ingredients, but it comes out very differently. Like we're the same ingredients, but one of us is a cake and one of us is a pudding. Like it's just something like that. Yes, so that's your vibe. Pile 3, I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that it was striking a chord with you. I hope that it resonated. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you always know when I upload. And I will see you guys in my next one. Please take care, Pile 3.